second. As I live and breathe. What's up, guys? Welcome to Sunday's live show here on youtube.com/ImprovGaming. Also on Facebook Live and also on twitch.tv/improv_gaming. Now, you may have noticed we're missing the best ponytail in the business here this week and next week, but we'll get into that in a second. But let me introduce to you one hunk of a man. I didn't think of a little thing for you, so I'm going to call you Improv Mike.
Wow.
Isn't that very original?
Did you practice that in the mirror?
Yeah, like all day.
How's it going, Dollface?
Oh, God, it's going to be that kind of show. Get ready.
I've been called that by special ladies.
Special ladies? Just the special ones?
Gentleman never tells.
Oh, that's true. I'm going to fix my mic.
If I'm anything but a gentleman, then I don't know what I am. Existential crisis right on live camera. This is a great start.
Melting down right in front of you all. Okay, so...
This is a therapy show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to...
I was totally misunderstood.
It's funny, me and Nick are doing...
Let's hope so. It's off to a great start.
Doing other stuff, and my thing is close to that. Some people call it motivation. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Did we just do an Eddie Murphy take to the camera like he used to do in all his 80s movies?
We just say stuff and
How
then stare at the camera.
How did they let him get away with that? It's just like, it's like, hey, what if I like just turn to the camera? Like, why? Yeah, people like it. They know that it's me.
So, what's happening is obviously it's not our traditional Sunday. We're not going to have top news stories a week. We will have a topic of the show, and we'll have also a casual conversation in there. So that's very cool to check out.
But I do like video games. I want to make that very clear.
Oh, don't worry, you video game fans. We will start with video games. I want to make sure that nothing...
By the way, this lucky little totem I have, it was given to me recently by one of my my theater student kids. It had like a little like king thing because it's the kingpin, and he thought, you've been the kingpin of this theater camp, and I'm like, thank you.
Well, let's jump into
Thank you so much.
Who are you, sir? Tell the people.
Yeah, that's a question I've been wondering for 31 years.
Still wondering.
Still wondering. I believe everybody's been going that. Well, my name's Mike. And,
hi, Mike.
Is this an AA meeting? Is that what this has become?
It's an intervention. You didn't hear?
Oh, God. They're getting letters from everybody. I'm a, I guess, professional comedian. Professional, loosely used. And you were nice enough to invite me here in a very small world situation.
Yes, 100%.
You happened to be at an occasion where you met our mutual friend Peter Kendall, who also has a gaming
Who will be
site.
on the show soon.
How do I jump? Cheap plug.
Yep. 100% check it. They're great.
And he and I were part of an improv group based out of Hackensack, New Jersey, called Howdy Stranger, which you are a member of currently. To a degree, which you joined after we departed to make our way for our own projects.
Well, I know Pete had his cruise. I was still with Nick.
Yes, he went to sea, never to be seen again. Right?
It was so funny.
Is that how it works? Is he back? I don't know.
Is he? Is it just a ghost?
It might be a mirage of his, his previous self. He just came back from. The Bermuda Triangle, and nobody knows. I think it's going to be an episode of Black Mirror. Like,
ooh, that would be a very high-rated episode right there.
Probably not.
not at all.
Like, who is this kid? No, but you ended up. No, they asked you. I was in this group with a guy named Mike, and you were like, Mike San Gregorio? Yeah. How do you know him? I kind of went to Bergen Community College with him. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And again, that was another moment where I was, kind of heading up the improv show there.
Yeah.
And when I left, you went into that as well. So we have just missed each other on several occasions.
It's fascinating because when we went to school, right when the old garden opened, was sleep. Hey, I'm up there in age with you too. But and then I would come in and like I would do shows with Kevin and Sean and all them. And then it was just funny with Pete, and we were like talking. I was like, "Oh, how'd he change?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he's like, I was like, "Well, I know Nick and Mike," and they're like, "What?"
Wait a minute.
But I was like, oh, "Bro, I haven't talked to Mike in like 7 years." They're like, "Oh, reach out to him." I was like, "It's been 7 years." I was like, "I don't even know if he remembers me."
Dude, here's the thing: when it comes to people like that, I've like, especially performed with, or at least been involved in the same circles with, it's like that. It's like it doesn't. It takes nothing for me to catch up with them unless they've, scorned me.
Done you dirty.
And then I just go Game of Thrones on them, and I'll just like kick them out a window and just watch them fall.
Leave them paralyzed at the legs. Spoilers of season 1 of Game of Thrones, episode 1 of Game of Thrones.
I told you before in the car right here, I have never really watched the series. I've seen clips and things and parodies.
Don't worry, Nick doesn't watch good shows either. It's fine. But no, so then you end up reaching out.
Yeah.
And I was like, and Nick was like, "Oh."
Well, you reached out to me after I said, "Yeah, I went to Bergen Community College with him," and then you were like, "Hey, kind of need somebody to, fill in the spot," and I was like, "Ooh, pick me."
Yeah, that's why I was like,
It's two of my loves.
Yeah,
it's improv and gaming.
Sounds like a good topic of the show soon.
What?
Anyway, this is exactly what we do.
It's marketing right there.
The funny thing is, and Nick could say this to the day he dies, he's like, "I never know what's going to happen on the show. Pete does whatever the hell he wants. I just follow." And I was like,
exactly
"You're
what
learning.
you're supposed to do."
But, so yeah, that's a little history of Mike. So, of course, we're going to go into...
Very brief history of Mike.
We'll go into
Written
it
by
very
Stephen
soon.
Hawking. Was it Stephen Hawking who did A Brief History of Time? No, that was Carl Sagan.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Carl Sagan.
I didn't want to...
History of Time.
So we have this thing on Sunday Live Show, and it's going to stay because, hello, we're Improv Gaming. What have you been playing?
Well, recently I raided PlayStation's 4 spring sale, and just I got Lego Batman 3.
Very nice.
I got Marvel Superheroes. I got Batman Arkham Knight. That's the only one I didn't finish.
You didn't finish, but you have played a little bit of it.
I played the first two.
Oh, but you never played Knight.
I never finished the trilogy.
When you're done, please let me know what your thoughts are.
I'm almost done with the main quest, and then I'm going to do all the others until I get to that really dramatic ending.
Do you know what happened?
Yeah, but
okay.
I still am enjoying immersing myself in the story.
I don't know, like, the story for me, like, it's a fantastic story.
I love it. And I mean, like, even early on, you kind of get it, like, who the Arkham Knight is. Yeah. And then, by the way, it's been a while. You can...
Spoilers.
There's no real spoiler at this point. The game's been out a long time.
Since June 2015.
Yeah. So if you haven't played the game by now, whatever.
Fuck yourself.
I wouldn't go that far, but
kindly fuck yourself.
Oh, okay. We'll go that far. But yeah, I really like it. And I've been training myself in Rocket League. Because now that esports is a multi-million-dollar job option, who knew that people like us who barely played sports if you were in Little League and then got into just playing games for fun, and now it's like, oh, dude, like, I can get 6 figures off of this?
50,000 for Overwatch players with dental and health.
By the way, doesn't the Overwatch League sound like the most evil organization?
Oh my god.
It sounds so Orwellian. Like, it's just like, yes, we are the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Overwatch community.
We are seeing you.
Doomfist has just been a character.
You have a character named Doomfist, and the organization that is, coaching and overseeing everything is the Overwatch League. Just... It might as well be like, meanwhile, at the Overwatch League, in a building that looks like Darth Vader's helmet, they are plotting against the Super Friends. Super Friends, by the way, very underrated cartoon. It's the same episode every single time. They meet at the Legion of Doom. They don't know how to defeat the Super Friends. The Super Friends defeat the Legion of Doom. And then the monkey tells a joke or something, and Wonder Twins activate.
And credits.
Credits.
So, anything else you've been playing, or is that...
Yeah, that's been kind of it. And then before that, I was just repeat Fallout 4. Just
I've never gone to Fallout 4.
How many different ways I could destroy society or save it.
I've never gotten to Fallout.
I needed to get, like, I'm a completist, and I was that way with Skyrim, and I needed to do, like, every single mission and finish it, every side quest, until it got to the point where I was just being a courier, basically. Like, the most overpowered, god-killing courier.
Nothing could stand in your way.
Yeah, but here I am delivering packages. You know, like, can you give this note, Mr. Dragonborn?
Please and thank you.
Sure. I'll fly there, you know, in an instant. Just like my dragon shows up. Yeah, it's fine. Could have opened up, like, my own delivery service. It's like the fastest Pony Express in the universe.
As you've been playing dragons and sorcery, I've been playing Splatoon.
Oh, Splatoon. Ah, yes. Yes, in case we ever get into the paint wars.
Yep. It was so funny. I saw a meme, and I put it on How Do You Jump and on the
How do I jump?
How do I jump?
Excuse you.
Pete's going to start. Bah, bah, bah.
He's just immediately like, you son of a...
But
that's how Pete talks.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Me. No.
Wow, that was spot on. Love you, Pete.
It's like perfect.
Love you, Pete.
We love you, man. Come on the show. Like now. No,
right now.
So there was a meme, and it was like, made for 7-year-olds, Splatoon 2, played by adults, and then it's Call of Duty, for adults, played by 7-year-olds. I was like, that's so fitting.
You know, technically, whenever a game I see, it's like for kids. When it says 7 and up, I mean, come on, I am the end up. You know, it's like Jenga, Candyland, Monopoly.
Candyland.
By the way, when someone says, when someone offers to play Monopoly, I stop them after they say, "Do you want to play and just throw it out the window. There's no way that a family survives playing Monopoly. I want to find the one person who won Monopoly
and kept their family together.
If you are that person, please contact this show or just anyone. Contact the news. Contact your local news. Contact CNN. They want good news, for God's sakes.
I thought you weren't going political.
No, I wasn't. I'm just saying, like, anyone could have a nice thing happen to them at all, which this is. We're here for nice things.
Nice. Always nice. Also been playing ARMS. Just picked that up.
Oh, okay.
ARMS. You can play it, actually, like, with the controls, or you could do motion. And it's very tiring when you do motion.
Oh, well.
Because I'm like, after 6 fights, I tap.
First of all, I love now an excuse to invite as many people over for the Jackbox games.
Oh my God, they're so much fun.
Quiplash is my jam. It is especially good for comedians to just try to compete and outdo each other on how much you can make each other laugh with the dumbest thing that you can think of, or the most outlandish thing you can think of, or the most offensive thing you can think of. And I have a few friends who are just masters at it. A few of my friends who are in my production company, who are like my writers and stuff, who are just every time, like, when it's revealed that it's their answer. So, like, sometimes it's fun to, like, guess the person before it's revealed who wrote what, and you look at them, you're just like, I know it's you. I know you did that. And whoever's watching, and I told who's watching this, you know who you are.
It's funny because there's a game called That's It, and it's with your phones, and it's basically you have to do like a thing, like say how many times have you taken a trip in the last year?
Oh yeah.
But somebody is the I don't want to say burglar, but I can't think of the name, but like basically doesn't know, so they have to randomly show something up. So it could be like you and me could be like, oh, we've been on 3 trips each, and we know that each other. But if somebody puts like 10 up, and you're like,
oh,
you've not been on, you know, you're the problem.
You're it.
It's definitely a cool game. It's free on PlayStation right now if you're a PlayStation Plus member.
That's the other thing I like about the Jackbox games is that everybody plays it on their phone.
Yeah.
So it's all inclusive on that thing. And the other ones that I've really been liking, our friend Pete, he has the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, and I love the Quick Draw game.
Oh my God.
The Quick Draw game, he had it at a party at his house, and we got intense.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, it got to the point where we're, like, getting into accents. We're like, just game between you and me, brother. I think, hombre, it's a little too tight in this town for the two of us. And we were like, We're just making up words, I think, that we thought Westerners said. Like, their cowboy terminology is not our forte.
It's a dead language now.
Oh, yeah.
But no, yeah, it's funny because he says to me, he goes, how have you not been to our house, like, with all this shit going on?
You gotta come.
I was like, let me know.
We love the Jackbox games. I mean, at my place, we have, like, Jackbox games parties. Like, I have the excuse to have food and play those games. Like, that's really what
it's like a dream come true.
They're the best party games ever. I'm so happy that they just keep making more and more and more.
It's great. Finally, I also finished my second to last Vita game.
I'm on the edge of my seat. What is it?
MRSA Rebirth.
Ooh.
It's a cool game. It's a cool game. I have one game left. The big game that everybody gets for the Vita, which is Persona 4 Golden. I don't know if you ever played Persona.
I've never. Here's the thing. I'm more of a small scale gamer.
Yep. 100%.
Unless it's like the cool like franchises. Like I love comic book games. And like obviously Batman and all that stuff. I love this. I do like the smaller scale games, like the indie games that come out. Like Pete, thank God, he introduces me to a lot of those cool independent games, and he gets to interview a lot of those people too. So I get exposure to things that I've never even like heard of, like just all. They're small, they're quick, but you get like a really unique experience with these things. And there's no offense to like if you like first-person shooters, if you like role-playing games, that's great. If that's your forte, awesome. But for me, as like someone who comes from a theater background and someone who comes from acting and storytelling and writing and things, I like just having that experience of kind of just, it's almost like reading a book, but like playing it, you know? And, there's comedies with it, there's tragedies and there's darkness, and then sometimes there's like these real, like, you think it's going to be a horror game, but then it turns out it's just this tragically sad story of real life. Yeah, like that's the one that I had to stop. Like I got out of my chair and I was just like, okay, I need to reevaluate a lot of things in my life.
I just played What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh, okay.
And it's from the people from Unfinished Swan, Giant Sparrow. And playing that, I was playing it with my sister, and it's just so like, I love story-based games. That's one thing. And Nick, he can't say anything, so I can say anything right now. Nick's not a big indie guy, and he knows that I love these story-driven things. So I play like the Firewatches. And
Firewatch was amazing.
Yeah, great.
And it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I love sleeper hit games like that, and when they get exposure at E3, I love that.
Oh yeah.
Because it's one of those things where it's like, good. These games need to be sought out more than like the the 5-star games or
the Call of Duties,
like
Battlefronts, all that.
Because we know they're gonna get sold. We know that they're money makers. It's like blockbuster movies at this point. Everyone's gonna go see them. Everyone's gonna buy them. I mean, you're practically watching these games at this point. And also, that's what I'm doing with like these kinds of games on YouTube. I mean, they have the full like walkthrough, or I always type in full game walkthrough, no commentary, because the last thing
you don't want to hear. And then you make the corner. It's
hey, look at this. Oh, this is a cool option. No offense, I don't care about your voice, but I just want to watch the game, feel the moments, and just kind of go like the experience with it. I do like to watch the better gamers who kind of play the game as the way it's meant to be played, because then it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, but if I were to have the game, then I can play it the way I want to. And then, of course, there are the really, like, very well done editors who just make a movie out of all the cutscenes. Like, that's pretty cool. And then they're like 6 hours long.
It's like, see every cutscene.
Like, I got to take a break. Hold on. I guess I'll come back to this tomorrow.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, some of the things people do on the internet is insane.
The machinima, I think the best machinima that I have ever seen right now, or that has been on YouTube right now, is from a channel called Shoddycast. And they have done a Fallout series. And it was all lore, and it was from a character named the Storyteller, who was part of the Brotherhood of Steel.
Okay.
And what he did was just give information about things like the Vault tech and just all the society, the super mutants, the Enclave, everything that, and even going into Boston, like they once the mods came out, they were able to model storytelling, and it just became this ongoing series, and it was more compelling as it went on, and I'm like, oh, I'm like really like into it, and the voice acting was really good, and the writing was really excellent, and just the whole, like, they knew how to tell a story using the game, and that kind of creativity, and you see it a lot with the GTA 5 machinimas too. There are some that are extremely funny. There are some that are like straight up action movies, and then there are some that are just like, I don't know what I just saw. But like they use the online, like they'll just have people come together to record from their perspectives as a camera and just coordinate these things so well and use the Rockstar editor. I'm like, that takes so much time. They're doing something that would take months for a professional camera crew, and then but like day by day by day, hour by hour. That blows my mind. I love seeing stuff like that.
Like I see it all the time with the GTA 5s. Like they would go all in an airplane and then just come, and they all just at one point flush out. And you just see them like parachute. And
you see
down.
every angle that they do in the perspective from, all for like one stunt jump. Like they're making their own Fast and Furious series.
Yeah,
that takes skill and time that I don't have.
Yeah, exactly. We should probably jump at the top of the show. This is the longest ever intro. But
this was just the intro? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, usually, like I said, we do like top news stories, and it just boom, 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 boom. But you being on a guest, I was like, oh, I want to know about his stuff. I want to know what, because that was the funny thing with Pete. Shout out to Pete again.
What is your favorite curse word? If heaven exists, what do you want God to say to you at the present?
Oh, I have some questions. I have some questions to ask you after the show.
And inside the Gamers studio.
Yeah. Very nicely done. But no, it was the one thing I do have to point out is when I was talking to Pete at the wedding, we just talked about indies. And I was like, it's so nice. Like, did somebody like
indie gaming does not get appreciated as much.
It's
as
not at all. That's why my Vita is my indie machine.
Seek out indie gaming, and there are a lot of expos out there that if you just look online, indie gaming expos, you'd be surprised how many are actually local. Yeah. To like any town nearby you, and they're not like not all in major cities, and even if they are, they're I know Pete and we went to one that was for gaming in Canada, and a lot of thick French Canadian accents, and Pete and I were just sitting there like, did you get that? I don't think I got that. But it was fun.
Oh, it's time for topic of the show.
Yeah, let's start the show.
We did. No, we did. I'll go through the whole rigmarole at the end. Yeah.
Did you just say rigmarole?
Yeah.
Are you... the newsboy cap gave it away. You are from the 40s. Okay.
I started wearing this. I used to wear a fedora. In older videos, I have a fedora. That's what I used to wear.
I saw those. I didn't want to bring it up.
And then...
I wanted to shame you so bad about that.
I know. Well... It was funny because the first time...
you might as well be wearing suspenders and be like, I want that story on my desk tomorrow.
Do it. No, the fedora always was a thing because when I first did...
It hasn't been a thing.
But
for society, they moved on.
But when I started stand-up in New York City, I had a fedora, and it was just...
Was that your hook? Like, please just tell me like that was...
No. It was just
good.
I wanted to stay, like... It's like everybody was like having like... no hat or like a baseball cap. I was like, no, I want to kind of stand out. So if somebody goes like, oh, who'd you enjoy? Oh, that kid with the fedora. Like, that was my way of doing it. That was when Super Happy was around.
I don't talk about them. No offense. I have a lot of good friends that were in that. But let's move on.
Yeah, 100%. So, Mike, what is your gaming history?
Gaming history. Well, the first thing I ever got was the NES,
Same.
as a kid, and my parents played it more than I did.
What did they play?
Super Mario, of course, slash Duck Hunt, which it was the combo game at the time.
Yeah.
And then a friend of my mom's got me Hogan's Alley, which was the shooting game, which was wonderful with the light gun, until I realized that you could just literally go right up to the screen and get sharpshooter every time just by clicking it so quickly.
Once you realize that moment,
it's just light reflecting off of the tube of the screen. You're just like, oh wait, click, 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 sharpshooter. And of course, Mike Tyson's Super Punch Out.
Oh.
I'm gonna knock you out, kid.
Oh,
it's
gosh,
no problem. I'm gonna turn you purple, and you're gonna fade out and blink for a while.
See, I remember for my NES, Adventure Island.
Ah, yeah.
That was Super Mario Brothers 3, still my favorite Mario.
Then 2, the hardest game of all time.
It's not even a fucking pick up a shroom. Check out. I was like, what is...
Oh, wait, no. I'm thinking of...
The Lost Levels?
Wait, was it 3 that was the hardest Mario?
3 was the theater.
3 was the theater.
Where it comes up.
What is the... There is a notorious Super Mario game that is just ridiculously difficult.
I
can't remember what it was.
It's not the Lost Levels, but I know what you're talking about because
it's like all black. The Bullet Bob levels are just insane. If you know what we're talking about, leave it in the comments.
There you go.
That's what you do.
I usually do that.
Yeah.
It's nice. But no, yeah.
From one live streamer to another. Yeah.
It was funny because I remember there was this guy, I can't think of his name, but it was Mario Frustration. And I don't know if you ever saw it where it's like he has to like
Is it
jump.
just rage quitting all the
Yeah,
time?
no, it's just him going like trying to make the jump. He goes, what the fuck? Like, it's fucking hilarious. And I was like, there's no way there's like a Mario game like that, but like it must. But
It is eluded me for a while, and I know it exists, and I know that the Mario creation game, like people they try to make like the most difficult games.
But you have to complete it. That's the one thing.
Yeah,
you have to complete it.
You have to finish it.
And but if somebody completes it, and like then you're looking at, be like, how the fuck?
They're like an all-star.
Yeah.
And then of course that movie that came out, The Wizard, which the Power Glove was invented for just for marketing purposes. Do you remember the Nintendo Power Glove? Oh my god. Okay, history lesson for you. The Nintendo Power Glove, a marketing tool just for this movie, The Wizard, which starred the kid from The Wonder Years. Fred Savage. Also from Princess Bride.
Oh, great movie.
Oh, yeah, wonderful.
Oh, God.
We
could have so many topics.
He was going on this adventure with, I believe it was his little brother or...
With the Inigo Montoya?
No. It was this younger kid who... he was like, I believe he was like autistic or something, but they took the name Wizard because he was a video game guy, and it was like Pinball Wizard with the Who, and it's a cross-country trip, and he's evading his family, but they end up in this like Las Vegas, or it was like, I think it was Universal Studios Hollywood. There's this huge gaming competition, and it's Super Mario Brothers 3 that has to be the end game. But there's this bully at one point who wants to show off his skills. A typical 80s bully, blonde hair, jean jacket, collar flipped up, and he takes out of a case a glove, a gray glove, which has buttons like an NES controller with a couple of extra ones. I don't know what they did, and I don't think Nintendo did either. But it was supposed to be like real first motion controller. Yeah. It did not work that way at all in real life. It didn't. But they made it look like that. Yeah. And he's supposed to be like the world's best gamer. He's like, nah. And so they sold that, and it became like a huge seller. And then they all got stopped selling when every kid realized this thing's a piece of crap. And yeah, they played
the magic of marketing.
They played Super Mario 3 in the end, and because he gets the warp whistle at the end, he wins because he was able to get to the last level. The freaking warp whistle. But yeah, that was my first console, and my friends had the Super Nintendo, and then I got I've graduated to Sega Genesis. And
Which you didn't get a Super Nintendo?
no,
Because I did
had
the
my
Sega
friends.
Genesis too.
Yeah. I had Sega Genesis, and then I had the Sega Nomad, which was the Genesis that you could take with you, and the battery life was like 30 seconds. And it wasn't. I had that until PlayStation came out, and then
The original PlayStation.
and then I was just a Sony person from that point. PlayStation 2, 3, currently at 4, and that's been my consoles. Oh wait, no, hang on.
I got a Dreamcast.
I was a PC gamer for a while, but Lucasfilm games.
Okay.
I loved Monkey Island. I loved the Indiana Jones games. Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine is probably one of the greatest unmade Indiana Jones movies ever. And I will fight you people for that. Like, that should have been the 4th movie that never got made.
See,
Like, it is up for debate, but I will fight you.
there's a Ghostbuster games for Xbox 360.
Yes.
And Tarek from Scholars of Wrestling.
And
checked
it
out.
was on PS4 as well, and it was on like pretty much every console. On Wii, it looked like a cartoon.
Yeah.
But on the other ones, it was realistic.
And it could have
And
been the new movie.
and in everyone's eyes, that was Ghostbusters 3 of that era.
Yeah. Not the shitty one with.
Well, now, here's the thing. In terms of that Ghostbusters, it's just, it is what it was. And my only criticism of it is that you can't have every character be Peter Venkman. Yeah, that's it. You can't have, everybody has to have a type, just like it was in the 4th one.
Yeah.
But, I like those actresses because I'm a big SNL fan. And
See,
I
hate McCarthy.
Oh, that's too bad.
I try. I really try. But I have thoughts.
Okay.
And
All
that
right.
messes everything up.
You can keep those there. I will keep mine here.
Yeah. Well,
And we will allow
agree to disagree.
We will allow that exactly. We will allow that to be that.
Yeah, after the Sega Genesis, I got an N64, then went to PlayStation 2, then PlayStation 3, then I started getting everything.
Yeah.
So I got a Wii, a 360. Obviously, PlayStation was my predominant one.
Yeah.
Like, I got my PlayStation 4 before my Xbox One. I got my PlayStation 3 before my Xbox 360. Right. I just got my Switch. But if PlayStation 5 comes, I'm getting me a PlayStation
I could never
5.
handle being a multi-console person. I just got loyal to Sony. I really like their IPs. I like their, when Crash Bandicoot came out, I was just like, oh, this is awesome. With Metal Gear and all those. And
see, that's the thing with, it used to be my 360 became my third party, like the Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty all went there, and Sony was my first party, and now my Xbox One is primarily first parties. The last time I played it was when Gears of War 4 came out. Yeah, like, it just collecting dust. And I have the nice white one, and I was like, there's nothing. I don't even want to play Crackdown. The only game I want to play is Sea of Thieves, which, where the hell is it? But,
whoa.
Yeah,
hey,
I know.
relax.
It's a good film.
By the way, it's so funny you say Assassin's Creed, because, all right, this is for my friend Chris Naj, who, this makes him crack up every time. Who is Desmond? It's the funniest line in the entire Assassin's Creed series. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you understand why it is so dumb and so random and so out of place. Well, I don't even want to explain it. You're just gonna have to play that game and just watch and be like, "Oh my god, who is Desmond?"
If you're interested in Assassin's Creed, fun fact: it's free for PlayStation Plus this month. Freedom Cry, the standalone from Black Flag.
No, I'm good.
No? Are you excited for the new one? No. What do you?
Maybe. I don't know. They dropped the ball like a long time ago.
God, you and Nick would be inseparable. He hates Assassin's Creed.
Here's the thing. I thought they were following a story where Desmond was learning how to become an assassin, and in the third one, it would take place in the modern world. That was the narrative, because you were transitioning back and forth. You were learning. It was
he started
being
to
embedded.
take on.
He was taking on the skill, and then all of a sudden you're in the Revolutionary War, and then he dies. What?
Spoilers.
Like, I don't. It hurt my brain. And 3 is awful. 3 is awful. I'm sorry.
I love
3 is awful.
But I'm a history buff, so
Unity is awful. Syndicate is great.
Syndicate and Black Flag are definitely the
Syndicate
standouts.
is great. I love Syndicate.
I do too. I use the cane, even though it was like the most. I was just like,
Syndicate is great.
oh man. So that's Mike's gaming history.
Yes.
So now, as you guys know, we've been doing a thing called Casual Conversations where we each bring a topic of discussion, talk to you guys about it, see what's up. So Mike, we were going to talk all about improv.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's been my life. Literally half my life. Like since I was 15, I've been doing improv.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
how'd you get the bug for improv?
Like a lot of kids, like a lot of people in my generation, we all started watching Whose Line Is It Anyway on ABC when it was, first exposed. And we were like, what is improv? Oh my God. And for a lot of theater people were like, how do we do this? And then, it's been around, obviously, for a long time. Yeah. Chicago is the mecca of improv. It was where it was invented, pretty much, with like Second City and all of the greats that have come out of there. But when I was 15, I had started with a theater company based out of my church, which is now independent, and I am currently doing a workshop with in the summer. My grade school English teacher, who was our choreographer, still is, her cousin, Joe Gatto, who you may know now as Joe from the Impractical Jokers. He, Sal, Murray, and Brian. When they were just, just the 4 of them as the Tenderloins, came for a workshop and taught us, a real 3-hour crash course on improv. And I was hooked. I was just like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And by the way, this story has been the greatest icebreaker I've used for the last 10 years. And all of my friends who know, they are sick of it by now. I'm
fascinated for the first time.
Tell the Impractical Joker story, Mike. We know you want to do it.
Hold on, let me see if I can make this work.
But okay, don't do it. No.
Okay.
The last thing you need is a zoom in on this face. All right. But thank you.
Anytime.
But yeah, we did.
It will happen again. Trust me.
We did. We did an intensive course, and I followed their career. I went to their shows, and now they're the biggest thing on TV. They're selling out, Mohegan Sun, and
they go on cruises,
Rockefeller Center, and they're going on cruises. And I watch their show, and I go, son of a bitch! I wish I thought of that, because that's me and my friends. That's anybody
100%.
And their friends.
That's 100%
just doing that, and they're getting paid thousands of dollars to do it on TV.
Yeah. And just having fun. You could tell it's genuine fun.
It's just genuine fun.
It's like, how can I make this the best situation? It's like, call that dude a girl.
It's 4 guys just fucking with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything that a guy has done to his friends just to make them embarrassed, they made a show out of it.
Yeah.
And I hate them for thinking of it first.
Now, my quick question to you.
Yes.
As you continue, do you have a favorite of the 4? And if you're at liberty to say.
It's tied between Joe and Sal. Because first of all, I love that Joe has no boundaries.
Yeah. Joe's my favorite.
Joe will go any excuse to just, first of all, any excuse to take his shirt off, which I think is the funniest thing. Yeah. He's like me. We have guts. And literal guts I'm talking about. And then Sal, when he has the propensity to always just break down laughing and crying
and fall to the floor
when he is in a situation that he knows he cannot get out of.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way in improv scenes a lot of the time, and it's a horrible habit that I'm very hard trying to break, which is a lot of times why I'm now behind the scenes just trying to put shows together, because there are a lot of people who are better at this than what I've been doing. At least, I've been trying to be more be on stage more. But, over the 15 years that I've been doing it, did in high school and, was in groups in college, and I worked, and helped make took over for teams in Bergen Community, and helped make a show, or reboot a show rather, at Montclair State, where I met Nick and Pete and all our friends there. And then
you went to Montclair too. Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
We're so similar. God,
Yeah.
it's scary.
And
this
then,
is me in 2 years, clearly.
Hope not, because it's
I really, for the sake. No,
it's very tough when it's going on right now. But then, yeah, I ended up getting, after a while, just doing some acting and stuff in New York and New Jersey, and I did a season at Florida Studio Theater in Sarasota, where I was teaching improv, and then I was part of their group, which we did shows weekly, and it was in this really nice like cabaret theater. It was so much fun. It was the first time I actually learned and did musical improv, which was a huge fear of mine. I never knew how to do it, but a great guy named Chris, he was there with me, and another a performer who's like, in my eyes, he's like the king of Florida improv. His name is Daryl Knapp. Hey, Daryl. If I don't know if you're watching, but he is phenomenal. By the way, if anybody can seek him out, and Christine Alexander too, watch their videos if you ever get a chance. They just got me over a lot of fears of what I had about performing stuff, because I knew how to just like play with people, listen to them, and just kind of bounce off of each other. I was good with like quips and kind of things like that, but they got me more into like the long form style and not so much just the games. But it's so much more satisfying when you learn just how to like really just do it, and just get over that fear of it.
It's not that I just
if it's not a preference, it's not a problem. But when you do it and you get like a satisfaction out of it, you really don't want to stop doing it, true. And then you realize like you can build stuff out of that. And that's what leads me to what I am doing now, where I decided, all right, is it possible to build a production company out of improvisation? And like a word popped into my head. Actually, wait, let me backtrack. There was a podcast. It's not on anymore, unfortunately, unless you pay for it behind like Stitcher paywall, called Super Ego. They also do live shows, and I'm going to see them in November at Bell House, and they're one of the funniest podcasts I've ever heard. And what they did was they would improvise a scene, and then they would break it down. They would break down all the dialogue and just make it into a clean, crisp, like, scene, and add, like, music and ambiance and sound effects and all that stuff. So it sounded like a written sketch at that point. So I was like, well, I think I can do that with my friends. And I reached out to the guy who created it. His name is Matt Gorley. He's done Drunk History, and he was like the Volkswagen guy for a while. And I was expecting, like, just check out, like, this is what we do here. He gave me like a 3-page email response of like all the details of what he did. It couldn't have been a nicer response. Like, I have had a very lucky break with people like getting back to me and influencing and teaching me how to do fantastic stuff. So yeah, and I was like, oh, I can do this now. And so I saved up, I got some equipment, and I started doing like a podcast with my friends, which we called Sketchprov, which I was like, it just kind of like it popped into my head, a vision. I was standing over the toilet.
And then, miraculous.
No, and I looked it up online, and nobody was using it. So I bought the domain, I made the Twitter handle, I made the Facebook page, like, so nobody could use it. And I was lucky, too, because I was like, haha, it's all mine now. And, we did a show where it was just like, regular, like, Who's Line style show. And then we started recording sketches, and I tried to put a podcast together, and that was gaining a little bit of, steam with people because they wanted to be a part of it, too. And I was like, it was I was just trying to figure out what exactly is this? Is it a group? Is it a showcase? Is it an ensemble of performers? Because I've had sketch groups, and I've had improv performers on the same shows, and I've have done pieces with myself, and I've had those groups come together to just collaborate at the same time and perform together. So it was like a year of identity building. And then eventually I was like, okay, this is a production company. We are going to make live shows with, featured acts, original material, and, and stuff like that. It would be like a variety. These will be variety style shows. We are going to build original content that we can put on like YouTube, like videos or Facebook at this point. And then we're going to make, podcast episodes. And then eventually, like, we would like to, write scripts for possibly like a pilot of a television show, or maybe a short film, like down the line or something like that. Basically, I decided if it is a production company, I want it to work that way because I want to help other groups, develop their content and showcase it and give them the chance
to give them that platform,
to have it put out there.
Yeah.
Either it be on a live stage, on an episode of a podcast, or if it ever gets to the point where, financially I have the ability to do it, to fund it, But that's hopefully way down the line, unless, the people give us money on the Patreon.
What is the Patreon?
The Patreon is for anyone unfamiliar with it, Patreon is a great website where it's mainly for artists who are just looking for contributors, either on a monthly or one-time donation basis, where you can give whatever amount you want to help support artists provide content for free, so that you don't have to truly pay for the content that you're seeing. You're just helping support it.
Yeah.
And it's any amount that you want. And there are reward systems that you can do. Right now, the only one that we have is the $1 improv suggestion, where you give $1 and an improv suggestion. We will use it for either a scene on our live show, an episode on our podcast, or use it to base it off of a sketch that we will make a video out of. And then, of course, you get full credit for that. Yeah. And we say, it's like writing for us, but you pay us. Actually, and the whole video can be seen on our Facebook page and on our Patreon page, which is just patreon.com/sketchprov, PROV. It's a nice little portmanteau of sketch and improv, because it's kind of a little bit of both, showcasing one side, showcasing the other. Sometimes we make sketches out of improvising. And I got to say, I am working with some of the most talented people I have ever met with. Some of my friends, in particular, I got to give a shout out to my two closest friends, and one of my head writers. Her name is Bonner Demling. She is insanely particular with writing, and she's so focused and a perfectionist, and I love that. I love somebody who really is like, even if it's good and I say, oh wow, that's really good, she's like, it could be better, and I'm like, okay, if you think so, but it's really good. And the same goes for my friend Matt Delhauer and another friend, Rob Dickerson. I give him...
That sounds so familiar.
You probably have met him, but I give him like one little concept. He will take the ball. He will not just run with it, but he will go into the Speed Force like Flash, and then he is gone, and an entire thing has been built around it, and it is beautiful. And the three of us and myself actually have used that concept to build a show that we are going to be doing on August 26th at the Pit Loft. That's the People's Improv Theater Loft at the smaller stage, which you can go find out tickets and information at thepit-nyc.com, August 26th. $7, 6 p.m. show. Check it out. It's only an hour or 55 minutes because we have to get out of there by that time.
Oh, I thought it was like because we have a 5-minute break in between.
No, 55 minutes because they got to kick us out. 5-2. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Showbiz, kid.
Yeah, she here.
But yeah, this has kind of been like, everybody tries to find like that one thing that is like, what's that one thing that I really like? I know what I love to do, and how do I build something out of it? Like, clearly you have, you found this thing, and you've been doing it consistently, and you're trying to make something out of it. And I love that. Like, that's exactly what I've been trying to do with mine.
Yeah.
And I encourage that with all types of art, with whatever it is, too. If you're crafting something, if you like to make furniture, and you want to make a business out of it, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you are a writer, go ahead, please. If you're a voice actor, Amazon has something called the if you go to acx.com, it's an audiobook voiceover audition page, and I've done it. And basically, what you do is you audition for audiobooks that are self-published, and if you get them, you have your price range, and they have different price ranges for different books on what they will pay you. You get a little here, you get a little there. It's not bad. And some people have done well enough to kind of have it be their job. Mm. So it's just, everybody says, God, who did I hear say this? But I remember somebody saying in an interview, it was Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. I don't know if you've seen that show. Yeah.
Everybody knows Dirty Jobs. Come on.
Yeah. He used to be an opera singer.
Really?
Yeah. And he was on QVC. He said, I heard him in an interview, don't follow your dreams. Take your dreams with you. Because then you're just doing what you want to do. And you're living it instead of just continually chasing it. So there's your inspirational quote for the day.
So, I'll go into mine a little bit because people wonder why it's called Improv Gaming. And there's all stories of that. No,
how many episodes in are we?
Oh God, we have over 500.
Shouldn't you have done this at the pilot?
No, well, it was gaming for. Well, we'll get to that.
No.
Yeah. Pack a lunch.
We're in for a ride, kids.
No, it's not that bad. I promise.
It could be.
No, I'm
just kidding, man.
I was always insane, and I'll begin with that. I was always insane. If you ask anybody,
I thought there was actually going to be like I was always insane about. No, just full stop.
No, I'm insane. When it's hilarious when I talk. Like if somebody comes into my job, I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm insane." And they're like, well, "I don't believe you." And then in the middle of the day, I'll just be like, "As I live and breathe," like randomly, and people.
And then they go, "Oh, I was wrong."
Yeah,
I was very, very wrong.
100% wrong.
Should have believed him.
But I've always had that passion.
It was the newsboy cap.
I've always had that passion, and then I started with theater very late. Mm-hmm. I went into Bergen, actually. That's how late. Yeah.
Hey, man. Best theater training I've ever had in terms of collegiate schooling.
Yeah, it was. Everybody always used to knock on Bergen. I was like, it was.
No, dude.
It's great. Like,
yeah, that place. It's so underrated. I mean, my high school used to scare me. They'd be like, "Well, you don't want to end up at Bergen." I was like, maybe I do. Yeah. After looking back, I was like, I should have went there.
It was, and I remember doing the first show with Kevin Mayfield.
Kevin Mayfield, yeah.
Great
Sean. Pirate.
Oh God, great. When I went to the Renaissance Fair once, he was on the tower.
Oh,
and
God.
There's like 50 people, and he just points me out. He goes, "You, sir, I'm going to talk with you later." And I was like, everybody's looking at me. I was like,
if you want to talk about a guy who can stand out and
100%.
In a way that he is the epitome of presence.
We had a theater workshop and with Jared Saltzman. And,
nice.
We were and there was not enough actors. It was more the tech side. So there was like maybe 5 of us. And he actually asked Kevin to be a part of it.
Oh, no.
And Kevin was hesitant. He'll tell you the story. And Jared goes, "Oh, let me bring you into the office," and me and Mike Hess were fucking talking, and there was a group around us. We're like, "Well, we found out our new Bob because it was a role for Bob," and they're like, "What do you mean?"
You always need a Bob.
And we go, he's being asked to be Bob. I was like, trust me. He comes out and I go, "Hi, Bob," and he just shakes his head because like he couldn't say no, you know. I loved him as it like it was. I've had very sporadic times with Kevin, but I feel like when we're on stage together, like I will stay this to the day I die. The first improv show I did ever was by far the best. It was me, Kevin, Matt Myjak, Sean, and this kid Brad. And just, we were like one mind. We were doing the dating game. I started crawling towards Sean. He would crawl towards, it was like perfect. And then that's when I was just like, I love this shit. Like, and it went into when I had to do Kiss Me Kate, a musical. Yeah. And I had to be one of the dancers. No, you will never see that tape. I found it the other day, and I started to watch it. I was like, "Good God Almighty!"
Gotta tell you though, musical theater, great exercise.
Oh,
lost 2 pant sizes lately because of it.
I remember I always had to wear tights and this powder. Oh God, it's a travesty.
Sorry, you just gave me like flashbacks to college.
Yeah,
I don't even want to talk about it. My pants ripped.
And then I remember I did another show. Then the third improv show I did, I actually hosted, and I actually
that sucks, right?
Yeah, oh, there was a controversial thing that happened on that show where I'm not going to give any names. You could figure out who it could be. Trust me. And this one kid, Alex, who very talented guy, who I wanted, we were impersonating teachers, and he went with the professor. And it
bad
went.
Choice.
Yep, and that person was there, and I had Jim.
The most awkward show in the world.
I had Jim go like, "You have to," and in the middle of
you have to talk to him and apologize.
And I sent him out to find said professor, and I'm like taking over. It was the most fun fact. The next semester, after I wasn't gonna host, I was like, you know what? I think I'm done at Bergen with improv. I had same professor say, "Pete, can you come in and teach them some things?" Because I was the old dog at that point.
Right.
And she goes, "Can you teach some of these kids?" And I was like, she goes, "Honestly, could you be in it?" And I was like, "If I'm in it, can I put my little flair into it?" And she goes, "If you're in it, you can do whatever the fuck you want." And it was one of my favorite intros because what we decided to do was everybody had their own intro. So whoever, I forgot who was hosting that one, but it would be like somebody would come through this little window in the play that was there for the moment.
Those are great because like you get to kind of like mess with the set.
Yeah.
As long as the set designer doesn't like kind of tell you.
And I was in the audience, and I remember Jim looking at me. He goes, "Pete, aren't you in this?" I go, "What are you talking about?" And then they called me, and I'm climbing over audience members. And then like there was this one kid. We start the show, and he comes in late and like bursts through the black box and ender, and he's like, I'm here," and everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And then how it disperses, we all go back. So like he would go back through and I'm climbing through, and then I fall.
Oh God!
Fall on my face, and everybody's like, "Wait, is this a part of it?" And I legit fell, and everybody got up, and I'm just sitting there. I was like, "If I stay here, they'll think it's just how it ends." But it was that was my last improv show for a while until Howdy came along.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy goes, "I think you should audition for this."
HowdyStranger.com, by the way. Check them out. Great hack and sack show. Ryan, we love you.
And I was like, "Bro, I don't know if I could do this." I said, "I've been so out of the loop. I don't think I have it in me anymore." But it's like fucking riding a bike, I found out. And we went, there was about 7 people that auditioned. And everybody was like, I've been taking classes at the Pit for 3 years. I've been doing this. I've been doing this group and this group and this group. I was the last one to go. And I swear this is how I said, I go, "Well, I came here unconfident. Now I feel shitty because I haven't done improv in about 5 years." And to Ryan's grace, as he goes, "You'll be fine. You'll be fine." And I was like, I know. And to this day, I won't ask Ryan to his face. I think I know why I got the audition because I'm very physical.
Yeah,
very
that helps.
and
That
Ryan
helps.
loved that. And everybody,
Because if you're just standing there,
Yeah.
who cares?
My last show with Howdy is I end up jumping off the stage and next to this woman, and I was Michael Phelps swimming, and Nick Wolf was. That's what I love about Nick. This a little forward ahead. I went to Nick. I said, just commentate, and that's all I gave him. Was like, and he goes, I got you. So I'm like getting ready. He's getting ready. I was like, and I go to start swimming, and I jump off the stage, and then I get next to this woman. I'm like, looking at her, she's like, "What the like?" And then I'm going, and I'm like going, "Oh, I fucking threw my body, bro. I could not feel my knees afterward. I went insane." And then I remember Ryan, when like we were done, he goes, "Yes, it's like fucking great." Like, because I just went, because I say to Ryan all the time, I was like, "Can I interact with the like? Are you cool with that?" We did a show for Cat London. I don't know if you know
God, I love Cat.
And
I adore Cat London. Cat in Vegas. Watch their stuff, by the way. I think that's the name of their site. Cat in Vegas.
Yeah,
greatest musical improv duo. Yeah. Wonderful.
So I remember, like, it was an R-rated show, and Mike Brown. I don't know if you ever worked with Mike Brown.
I heard the name. I haven't met him yet.
We met, and within a half hour, we were like brothers. Don't worry.
Good.
I know. I get very.
It's such a great story.
But like in the first half hour, like we were like interchangeable, and I just remember that show where I was like, can I go to R-rated? And Mike dropped an F-bomb, and I go, well, that's all I need.
There we go.
And we did a scene where
Gates
there
have been
was
dropped.
a stripper, and you know what's coming.
Oh, dear Lord.
I walk right up to this guy, the worst guy that you would walk up to, and I just go, like, full, and I was like, somebody just tag me out, because I'm like, I have no issues, like, going on this, but I knew that I was like, this guy could take it one or two ways. So he's looking, everybody in the audience like,
what's gonna go on?
And I'm just like, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I start moving, and then somebody tags me, and I just turn, right before I go, you're lucky, and I turn around, and the audience goes fucking insane. Like, but going back, like the one thing I think sold me for Ryan's audition was, and I will never ask him to this day because I don't want to know the real answer. Right. He had us do monologues, so it'd be like, you are a plant. You are a tree, you know, and you would just have to monologue as that item. And he gave me a snowball. So everybody was stand still, and I was like, nope, I'm going to fucking... Yeah. And I curled up in a ball, and I started rocking back and forth. And I go, oh my God, summer is coming. I'm going to be like... And just like having like this breakdown as a snowball.
A meltdown,
and then,
if you will.
And then like you just see me like sprawl at the end. And I swear... I really think that's what God...
plastic.
You know?
That's glass. You got nothing. All right.
Yeah, bones close enough. But I've never asked Ryan, but I fully feel like that's what he was like, look, I want to bring you on, you know?
That's cool, man.
And
that's really cool.
I did a number of shows without it, and I loved them, you know? And now I've kind of on the outside, but...
Well, here's the thing, you know, the reason that... You know, we mentioned the Pit, and like there are shows. You know, there's long-standing theaters in New York, like UCB and Magnet Theater and People's Improv Theater, and they are wonderful establishments. But and God bless Ryan, he is making a wonderful group out of Hackensack and like such a wonderful arts area out of it. You know what I've been trying to do in Montclair, and that's been our home. You know, we are performing out of a comic book shop, you know, Eastside Mags. And Jeff Beck, by the way, has been a savior to us, but just because he loves having us there. We don't need a theater. We have a home there. We're able to set. It's like guerrilla theater for us. It's wonderful. We just set up a curtain. You know, we got a little speaker, and then we're good.
Yeah,
you know, we use like his monitors to throw up some videos that we make every now and then. And but the thing is, it's like, save for a few groups that I know of, Death by Comedy, Death by Improv.
That's where I did the swimming.
Howdy Stranger, and Improv Jam in South Jersey. Mike O'Keefe, who's a great guy, around the Asbury Park area. That's kind of like it. But I feel like there's never been a New Jersey equivalent of a UCB or a People's Improv Theater or a Magnet Theater.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's what I want to make. I want to have people be able to have their indie teams, their sketch groups. If they have a show that they want to put on, I want them to be like, okay, if you have something, bring it to Sketchprov. We will help you bring that abroad. Like, I want to fill that void that is so, like, there is a big hole in regards to, like, a comedy scene. Because so many people want to do improv. So many people want to do sketch. And I've done show after show after show, and the same question comes to me every time. How do I do this? You know? Because if you go to New York, first of all, there's tolls, there's the parking, there's all the commuting. And on top of that, you know, no offense to these great schools, and you will get great training, but they are so expensive.
Yep.
They are really, really expensive. And people like us just can't quite afford it. You know, it's like going to graduate school for a lot of people. And a lot of the times, I won't say which one in particular, it's basically what you're doing is you are taking a class who is being instructed. This is not how it used to be, by the way. You're taking a class who is being instructed by someone who just graduated from the last level of the courses, who may or may not be on a team. That those teams that do shows, they are not paid performers. I do my best to pay the performers. I really try. When I can, I really try it. That's what I'm trying to have with the Patreon. I mean, I make a joke that, you know, maybe we'll pay the performers. But no, I really, that is a goal, just because they deserve it.
Yeah.
But no performer gets really paid in New York Improv. It's non-existent because obviously they make their money off of the bars. Why wouldn't they? But, you know, there's a cycle. You're getting taught by the student, or the graduate student. The people who see the shows are all students because they're required to see one or two shows during their classes. And then usually those students are just fans of the other groups, and the other groups are seeing the other shows. So it's just like almost becomes like this cult of continuously same people unless they decide to go on to other things or just quit doing improv because nothing resulted of it, or their SNL audition didn't work out. Again, I won't say which particular theater it is, but, you know, it's not the Pit and it's not Magnet. Well, I will say, I did a course there. It was excellent long-form training, but it was just not for me at that time.
Okay.
There are wonderful people that I have met who have done great shows out of there. There's a wonderful show there called Indie Cage Match Night, where all these indie teams just like go. It's kind of got like a wrestling feel to it.
That's cool.
It's very fun. Otherwise, you know, it's their thing. But what exactly, like, look, if I had like my ideal situation, there's an empty theater that's right across from this like small tiny movie theater on Bloomfield Ave in Montclair.
Okay.
It's abandoned. It used to be the Rascals Comedy Club. If there's any investor who has been buying what I'm selling right now, that is where I would want to set up shop. That is the dream right there. Because I love Montclair.
Oh,
it is the best arts town in northern New Jersey. It is accessible to everyone who wants to come see some great stuff, like great food, great shops, all that thing. And, you know, just being able to make a show out of a comic book shop is just so much fun to us because we're all like big comic book fans anyway. And we're all just a big bunch of nerds just trying to make people laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, every time we do it, everybody says, I have never seen something like this. And I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do.
That's what you want.
That's all I'm trying to do. So, yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Before I
living the dream.
That's what
at least one step at a time until we can't fit people in there anymore. And they force us out.
You're
breaking the fire code.
You're breaking the fire code. Get the fuck out. No, but
we might name a show that one day.
I do have a quick question for you
Please do.
in a second, but because I know people are going to be asking. Improv Gaming, how it came to be. I didn't like the job I was
right,
at.
that's what we were originally talking about. Jesus.
No, just fucking this show is a garbage truck
It's all
on fire.
tangents.
This is a garbage truck on fire. Everybody knows. Jesus Christ, we've been going an hour and 10 minutes. Doesn't even. Wow. It's so.
Have you listened to other podcasts and stuff?
I know.
Come on.
We try. It's funny because for the episodes that we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays here on YouTube.com/ImprovGaming, we try to make it like 10 to 15 minutes, like break form.
Yeah.
So like you go on a break from your job, it's like, oh, I can quickly check out the latest episode. You know, it's not this long drawn out fucking.
Yeah, it's a live episode. You know? These things are special.
Yeah, that's why I'm like the live. I was like,
I'm special. You're special.
Oh.
Everyone out there's watching is special.
Small doses, but no,
except for a few. You know who you are.
But when I was thinking, I was like, I'm really not happy with where I'm at with my job. I need to get something to really, and this is before Howdy, just a spoiler, not really, but yeah, think about that one because I don't try to. But I was like, you know what? I love gaming, and I was like, and I love improv. I was like, is there a way I can them together? You know, and I went to my one buddy first who is the biggest Zelda fan. R.I.P. or what? I don't know. Maybe check out September. Yeah, don't worry. I'll explain later.
Yeah,
check out September
off camera.
So we had him, biggest Zelda fan in the world, and my buddy Nick. Now Nick, I didn't know as well, and I approached him and I was like, "Look, bro, I'm thinking about doing this YouTube thing, with gaming." And he goes, "100% in." I was like, "Well, do you want to think about it?" He goes, "No, I'm 100% in." And I was like, "This is great." And
all in.
And Jeremy, I knew was going to be in, and I was like, "Well, it's going to be the three of us." And we met up and we're like, let's figure out the name. And I always I had Improv Game, but it wasn't to the extent that this is.
Right.
And I was like, well, I do have Improv Game. And they're like, oh, yeah, we can get behind that. And it's funny because our Twitter handles aren't going because obviously he's not Nicholas De Jesus. But Nick's Twitter is Profcot. And my Twitter is Improv Pete.
Hey.
Yeah, tell me about that. That's the luckiest thing I ever got. So when people see Improv Pete, I'm like, they have to put two and two together. If it's called Improv, they know, like, to credit now, me and Nick are boom, boom, But it is my baby, like this thing, and I was like, these are two things I want to do. So I'm like, and then when the show has changed over hundreds of times, not hundred, I'm exaggerating there.
Like I said, stuff evolves until you finally kind of figure out what it is you actually really want to do.
That's like we start without video. Then I wanted video. We had a mic hanging over.
Yeah.
Then we only just had one mic in the center. I said, Nick, wouldn't it be great if we each have one to actually look like more like a podcast and stuff? And little by little, when we got the camera,
it takes time.
It was insane, and like it's still. We've done over 500 videos. We've now done this for over 2 years, and it's great. I love doing this shit, and that's one thing. Like you were saying, you got to love what you do. And one of my favorite quotes, because, we got to go for quote.
Oh, yeah.
Is Paul Heyman.
Yes.
He had a quote on the rise and fall of ECW.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes, you cannot achieve success without the risk of failure.
Yeah.
And you can't achieve success if you fear failure.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not afraid to fail, man, you have a chance to succeed. But you won't know unless you risk it all the way.
It's true.
Sometimes I'm going to go through the whole thing. Sometimes I'll risk failure, because sometimes I'll risk failure because half the fun is failing, and it's so true because I'm like,
you have to know what doesn't work so that you can figure out how to change it in order to make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, Walt Disney had his idea where he says, I think everybody in their life needs one big failure so they know what it's like to be at the bottom to work their way back up.
Yeah.
And I have never felt more like... I've had some big failures in my life, so I know what it's like to rebuild.
It's insane because, like, you see, like, some of these power people like Oprah or, like, Steve Jobs, and half of them didn't start. Like, I think it was Morgan Freeman didn't get his first acting role until he was, like, 50-something, like 52.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, with comedians, like, when I realized, like, oh God, I should have started when I was in my 20s or anything. And then I look like Rodney Dangerfield. He was in his 50s when when he got big, and I'm just like, oh, okay, so there's time.
Yeah, and it's
I'm 31 now.
You're 24.
Everybody says that. I've always feel older.
It's the facial hair, that's why.
But I've been doing improv for like close to 16 years now, and it took me, this long to make an official company, and only now am I starting to realize, like, okay, maybe there's going to be a turning point. Only just now, and it's been a little bit of a year and a half to get to that point. So everything takes time. So and people are always in a rush to get to success. And if success is your goal, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
What you need to be doing is, like I said, don't chase your passion. Take your passion with you.
Yeah.
God, this got philosophical.
Yeah, damn right. Sounds very motivational.
It's deep gaming, deep improv gaming, man.
But no, that's one thing.
We're going to hug it out later? Is that what's
of
gonna
course.
Happen? Oh, okay.
Hello. No, but that's one thing. And I love to stress. I'm like, if you want to fucking do something, go do it. You want to do your own YouTube channel and just talk about fucking music, do it. Like, I had a buddy of mine, and he's like, I'm thinking about doing music. And I was like, do it.
Yeah.
He goes, well, I don't have the equipment. I was like, yeah, but at least if you get your name out there. I was like, way back in the day, well, not way back, a year ago, I applied for my dream job.
Way back.
My dream job, IGN. I don't know if you're familiar with IGN.
There's
I've talked to actually Per Schneider, who, and I've done a couple of things, and I was like, yeah, 10,000 people apply for one job, but it's like, if you don't throw your hat in the ring, you'll never know.
Yeah, you can't. It's like if somebody says, oh, I wish I could win the lottery. Well, have you ever bought a ticket? No. Well, then what the hell are you saying?
How are you going to do it? And it's just, it's amazing. It's so, like, just do it. Like, it's the best way.
This is the other thing, and there's a lot of fear with, like, a lot of friends that I have and a lot of people who are in, the arts. The artists can have day jobs.
Yeah.
Just because you're working a job to financially support you, it does mean that is you. If you are a photographer, you can be working at Kinko's or FedEx or whatever it is, but you're still a photographer, I'm going to get my substitute teacher's license, but I'm still head of my own production company. So it's like, one thing that I need to do to make money doesn't mean that that's what I am.
Yeah. I'm a manager, but I do this. I did Howdy on. I do so much stuff because like
real artists have day jobs.
It's funny because when I started doing Howdy, and then I was doing this, and I had a couple other obligations, my mom's like, "You're gonna like wear yourself thin." I was like, "I could sleep when I'm dead." Like, this is like, I'm passionate about improv. I'm passionate about game. I'm gonna do that. I'm like, I want to have my hands in so many different baskets where it's like, it's insane.
You can run. I will warn you though, that can be risky because I tried doing all that last year, and then by October I like broke.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. I will say that.
Well, that's why Howdy's on the back burner at the moment. It makes sense.
But they are still doing great shows. So
yeah.
Check them out in that new theater that's being built there in Hackensack.
They're also
if you're in the area. I know this is online, so
they didn't even know where we live. It's funny. Yeah. We have never told them.
If you're in Hackensack, New Jersey, by any chance.
Yeah, there you go. But no, they have their nice thing where it's like dinner and a show. You go, you eat.
Oh
you
yeah,
see a show, and it's great that Ryan like locked that down, and it's. It was funny because
with our show, you can read a comic book and not pay attention to the show.
Just flipping through.
Yeah, that's funny.
Back to Hulk. But
Hulk laugh.
Sounds fantastic. Now, all right. So I have a question for you, sir. Be honest. It's 7:18. We've been going for an hour and 18 minutes.
Alrighty.
Do you want to do one more topic and then we'll call it a day?
Sure. Let's do this. It's your show.
My topic. I have a couple. So
I'm out of here.
I want to no. I want to get your feels. I have celebrity crushes.
Okay.
Like your top 5 or top 3 celebrity crushes.
All right.
If you want to go with that.
Okay.
I don't know if you're a big poker player.
No.
That's a no. Or because of earlier board games.
Yes.
So which one would you like to talk about? You're between the celebrity and the board.
Yeah. I'll go with board games.
Board games for 100, Alex.
Yeah. I love Munchkin. Munchkin is a phenomenal board game. First of all, there's so many different versions of it. Like, there's franchise versions of it. Like, you can do Avengers Munchkins. You can do all the franchises that I'm forgetting about right now. Basically, you're all like knights, and you're going from room to room to room, and you're trying to collect treasure, or you face a demon. And in some ways, you can kind of like use your power to get others to go backwards, or perhaps you have your power to go ahead. And it's all just kind of like this game of going back and forth, and who's going to maybe betray each other, and just who's going to advance. And eventually, whoever gets to the end gets the final treasure. Another one is Gloom. Gloom is a great card game. It's especially good for people who like to act. You have a family, and the point of this family is you are trying to kill them all. You're trying to get them to be dead in the most just gruesome fashion as you can think of. So you have your base family, and they all look like Addams Family characters, which is great. And then as you get cards, you layer them on top of each other, and you still see, so there's see-through portions of it. And they each have ways of having them die, or ways of them gaining health. Now, you can also use these cards to give to others. I see, these are the kinds of games I like, where you're advantageous or disadvantaging other players in kind of like a scheming fashion and manipulous way. But the thing is when you get your card of the way they die, it's really fun to tell a story about it and just kind of like really give a backstory and characteristics about it. And then the final one, and this is one Peter Kendall introduced me to recently when we were promoting his August 5th event, which, by the way, if you haven't, go to his website, howdoijump.com. It's a great charity event. Cash and Guns. I don't know if you've played this. Are you actually a board gamer at all in any way?
We'll get to that.
Okay. Cash and Guns is a game of you are all just coming back from a heist, a successful heist.
Okay.
And they're in a stack of cards, which are all use a lot of different representations of money. 10,000, 5,000. It could be diamond rings. Could be cases of it. And then there's a Godfather card. You have characters, little characters of each of you, and you all have foam guns. The Godfather is the just decider of certain things. Then you also have, again, power ability cards. One may be every time that you decide a certain action happens, you can always take the 10 grand money, default. Now, the way it works is every round, everyone points their gun at each other, like Mexican standoff style. And on the count of 3, you each either have to lower your gun and your character, so you basically can't be shot, or you stick with the person who you have to stay with.
Okay.
Now, you have 2 options in your cards, and you have to select either bang or click.
Ooh.
If you select bang and they haven't drawn down, they're shot, and they get an X. 3 X's means they're dead.
Okay.
They're out of the game. They can't collect any of the cash. If you're shot and you go down, you can you divvy up the cash one person at a time, and it goes, select. If you're the Godfather, you can choose, like, say I'm pointing at you and you're pointing at me, I could tell you, point at somebody else.
Oh, and you have to do it.
And he has to do it. What's fun, especially when Pete and I get involved, it becomes very dramatic. Because there'll be 1, 2, 3. You son of a... I thought I knew you. We went to grade school together.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm like, the Godfather's like, that's not a problem. You gotta go over there and just point him. I don't care who. Do it. Shoot him. And then and then on the count of 3, this is the only weird part of the game, which of all the points of the game is after the count of 3, if you want to keep your gun up pointed and risk either being shot or just, not with a click, you have to yell bonsai.
Bonsai?
Bonsai. I don't know why, but it's fun. We played it at the place in Hoboken called Aether. And we played with these 3 other strangers. And they got so into it because they were just, casual guys just playing a game. And when Pete and I got into it, and, we're pretty wild when it comes into, like, role-playing with these games. All of a sudden, they're, like, I thought I knew you. And one guy practically turned into, like, Tony Montana. And it was just like, come on, friend. You want to play this game now? Come on, we have money all over the place.
Oh, my God.
It was amazing.
It's great when you have it.
Oh, and as far as my celebrity crush, Canadian...
I love how you...
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. I believe that is the world's crush right now, so let's face it. The man should be the leader of the free world.
So when it comes to board games for
He's
me...
beautiful.
Yeah, he's a beautiful man. One of my favorite...
Seriously, have you seen that chin? I could go on.
Please do.
Might be dangerous.
What my favorite board game...
Canada's... no, I'm sorry. All right, that's it.
Hey? Sorry.
That's offensive.
Not unless I go, oh, no. My favorite board game, I don't know if you ever played, is called Stratego.
I have Stratego. Rest in peace,
I love that game. I don't know what it is, but it's just, and I've played chess, and I'm going to not do the absurd games as much as you, but chess, the Monopolies, Risk. I played with Sean.
Go for Australia first.
I think I still have the picture. Me and Sean, like, you just see him, like...
Risk is dangerous.
Yeah. Like, half the board is him, half the board is me, and then my little friend, like, with, like, this little piece. Yeah. And we're just like...
Make your move, sir.
What will you do? Who are you going to attack?
It just becomes like, Dr. Strangelove's war room map all of a sudden. You're just like,
But it's... I love board games because they add so much. And I actually went to the same place in Hoboken when I went out with Kevin and Katie, and that's where I met Pete for the first time. And we played this game, and for the life of me, I can't... 2 games we actually played. One, and maybe you'll know if I describe... You get, like, 1 through 9, and 1's easy, 9's difficult. So you could be like a thunderstorm, and you have all these different ways of telling it, but you can't say it's a thunderstorm. So you would be like, it's weather. Oh. It's also, it has...
You're a liar.
It's this, and you have these people guessing, it's like, it's a, if it's a person, it's like, better example, if it's Freddie Mercury from Queen.
Yes.
So you might be like...
The greatest band in the world.
High fives.
There's Queen, and then there's everything else.
There's everything else. Even though I'm very partial to Fleetwood Mac and Eagles. They're right up there for me.
Also good choices.
But it would be like for Freddie Mercury, okay, you would put like music as a musician. You would also put I would put like theater for being a little bit more flamboyant, and you have to guess. It's like music, okay, this, and you have to guess, and the harder it is. And it's such a cool game because... It's
almost like a 20 questions, like, is it animal, person, bird, or vegetable?
Yeah, but you're putting like, oh, it's not an animal, it's a male, and it has all these different... and after this, I'll message Pete.
Have you ever thought of, like, doing a live game of just, like, having people play the game live on this stream?
No, but that's a great idea. That's something we would
You're
have
welcome.
You back. Oh, we'll have you back for that. Trust me. When Nick goes back on vacation.
That game is, like, that stream's going to be, like, 4 hours long.
Oh, yeah. One of the guys we like is this YouTuber is called Kinda Funny.
Is he?
Yeah, they're funny. And they did like this one thing where they played Monopoly for 4.5 hours, and I was just like, it's insane. I do like Monopoly though.
I told you this in the car.
Yeah.
As soon as somebody says, "Do you want to play Monopoly?"
I'll go away with you.
We're done. We're not friends anymore.
So Monopoly, no.
I'm gone.
And then we played this other game where, oh god, it's gonna kill me, but I'll explain it best way. There's one spy. And the rest are like your army, and your goal is to
We played this game.
Yes, you know what I'm talking
I know
about.
exactly what this. It's a Resistance, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yes.
I think.
Oh
And-
my god, this was fun.
And it
Oh,
was
this
like
was
the
fun.
spies.
Because
and
you're
it-
just trying to screw. You're either trying to screw over the Resistance, or
you have to play along.
You have to play along
Yep.
as the team. But the best part is trying to figure out who the spy
Yeah.
is, and then it becomes a little bit obvious towards the end.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Christian was a spy, Christian
Okay.
Spinella, and he was not a very good spy.
No,
So you see us going down.
I was
and,
not a good spy when I played.
And this other kid, I can't think of his name, but it was one of Pete's friends. And he was also a spy, and he goes, okay. Like, he shared a look, because, when you're the spy, you're the other spy,
Right.
eyes closed. And you just see him, and he puts down the spy card, and Christian doesn't do anything. He puts down, like, the let's go to war card. And this kid goes, like, what are you doing? Next round, Christian was the spy again.
Oh,
and it was
God.
just like...
It's not how this game is played.
But it was so funny because, like, Pete tried to explain this, and I'm like, and then it's that game of, it's like, hey, you could trust me. Like, look, I'm not fucking you. Like, come on. Like,
Listen to me.
like,
Watch me.
like the one time they kept choosing me, and the one time we lost, they didn't choose me. I was like, choose me. And, like, it's just.
I will say this. When it comes to Pete, intensity is probably the best word to describe it when it comes to video gaming. Subtlety, not in the vernacular
ballpark.
at all. Not in there at all.
It's incredible. Like,
Well, this has been a delight.
Yes, it has.
And I hope everyone who has watched enjoyed this.
Oh, you're coming back.
Oh,
There's-
well, thank you.
if you want us back.
Of course, Buttercup. I'm going to think of, like, cute names for you every time I come on.
Okay, Smushy.
Aww.
Oh, this can go all day. So the rigmarole now, because I didn't do it in the beginning.
Plugs?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Oh, there's a whole bunch of that. Not that much. Remember, we have Improv Plays where you can play with us. So remember, I am C Charisma on PlayStation 4 and Improv 153 on Xbox One.
I am just Mike Sangregorio on PS4. That's
Hey.
my tag. I couldn't think of anything clever, and anything I tried to make was taken.
Of course.
I tried Jedi Mike trick,
That's
and it was taken. And I was like, you son of a bitch.
my buddy had an Xbox One and he had a great gamer tag. And when he came over to PlayStation, he goes, "I'm going to get the same thing." I said, "I don't think you are," and he did. And his thing is Mount Crushmore.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
Yeah, how great is that, though?
And also, why did no one think of that?
I know, right? I was like, when he got that, I was like, how the fuck did you get that? Like, and he goes, I was just lucky. And it's not like with the fucking backwards
No,
K or
no,
shit.
no.
It's straight Mount
Because
Crushmore.
I did not want to, like, underscroll
Yeah, no.
or put any numbers. Because if you can't do it the way you want it, it's
Yeah.
not worth it.
See, Charisma was back when Captain Charisma
Christian. Yes.
was a thing.
Christian!
And when Christian broke up with his one girlfriend, I don't know if you remember the theme where it goes, Christian, at last, you're on your own. He breaks up with a girl, and I post that every fucking
Every
time.
single time.
And he like laughed because I was like,
That's
it's
his
so
best
fitting.
theme song ever.
Oh, it's
This is a whole nother episode.
Yeah,
This is
wrestling
a whole,
will be another thing.
Wrestling video games is a whole other episode. Believe me.
So remember, we are Improv Gaming. We come to you live every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also come to you with 10 to 15-minute little chunks on Tuesday and Thursdays.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. I haven't talked this long in a while.
Thursday.
But they're a little fun. They're not going to be up this week because Nick does all the editing, as you guys know, and I don't. I just show up and be a pretty face.
You should have been here when we were trying to set this up.
Oh, God. We had to call Nick. I know
That's
Nick
a show
was like...
within a show.
Yeah,
I should have
oh, my
videotaped
God.
it.
Oh, it would have been instant million views. But I will be back next Sunday. However, you will not be back, sir.
No, but I'll we'll figure out another one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, Nick's gonna be watching this. He's gonna go to me. He's gonna text me after. He goes, he's coming back.
Well, it's on the record now, so I guess he's obligated to.
Yeah. And if not, it's Nick's fault.
There's the bus.
But next Sunday we actually have a great one of my favorite girls. She also went to Bergen.
Ah,
You will not know her though.
probably not.
Elizabeth Porco.
Nope.
Yep. See, she's a big Nintendo girl, and we're gonna be all about Nintendo and Animal Crossing and Pokemon Go and all that stuff. So that's going to be next week. So it's going to be more focused on actual gaming. This was just a fun gaming and/or improv.
We talked about a good amount of gaming. Yeah,
oh
I
my
think
God.
so.
The first 20 minutes was all about it.
I know my stuff.
So remember, please subscribe to the channel if you have not. Like the video.
Yes.
Comment below. Let us know. Also, support this nice man over on Patreon.
Yes, you can go to all of our social media links can be found on sketchprovcomedy.com. Sketch, Prov, comedy.com. The YouTube, the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all there.
Do you have a
so
Tinder?
you know. What? No. Yeah, but I mean, no.
Improv Gaming has a Tinder.
Why?
Because-
Weird. No, we don't.
It's of Kenny, actually.
We don't, by the way. We had a LinkedIn for some reason. Just for laughs. But yeah, all the social media stuff is there. We'll have our live show calendar updated soon. August 26th at the Pit Loft, we are doing Public Radio Pledge Drive. That's our first original production. It is an improvised talk show that parodies NPR.
That's awesome.
And yeah, we're gonna take them down a few notches. It's been coming soon.
They've just been number one forever.
Yeah,
on
they're just those jerks
iTunes
with their high quality, unbiased. Anyway, but yeah, we're gonna be doing a show there August 26th. You can go to the pit-nyc.com for tickets and information. September 30th, we will be back at Eastside Mags in Montclair, New Jersey. Those are always a free show. If you would like to support us to help us continue to bring this free content to New Jersey and help build up Sketchprov, you can go to patreon.com/Sketchprov. So please help us out and make us number one and dominate this
You're
world.
not first, you're last.
That makes no sense, Bobby.
It does not at all.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
What do I do on video?
If you don't eat Big Red, then fuck you.
Remember, we also have a Patreon.
Yes, support this show because this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
I hope you did have a lot of fun on this.
And also, if you ever would like to come and do one of our live shows, please, by all means, let me know.
You know, I'm a
It's on the
message
record
away.
now, so I have to. I have to.
That's why it's so fun. Pete's like, "How have you never been?" I was like, "Invite me, man." It's so much better because I was like, "I do so much shit." Like,
Yeah,
just
please.
be like, "Pete, come now.
Message me
I got you."
whenever
Yeah,
you want.
let me know. This is absolute pleasure.
Thank
sir.
you so much.
I really appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching again. I'm gonna now figure out. Watch this. Hold on, because I promised for the one.
Hey.
We say game on here, but really this is not a big game on, so I'm going to do ending because if I didn't do the ending, Nick
Yeah.
would have a fucking shit fit.
Hey, why not? We'll say it.
So yeah, game on.
Game on. Wayne's World too, right? Yeah. Game on.
Is that from Wayne's World?
The first one. Yeah.
Oh, I never knew.
Okay.
Sometimes I just like to talk and
That's
just stop.
another reference from my friend. So.
You know what's funny? I
Just
like
let it fade out.
Yeah,
just
fade
kind of like a talk show.
Yeah. I just like to